Barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. A brand new house all on the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new tin that baby built on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love? Who do you love? Now around the town, they use a rattlesnake whip. Take it easy, baby, don't you give me no lip. Who do you love? Your love. I got a tombstone and a graveyard mine. I'm just 22 and I don't mind dying. Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Oh, who do you love? Took her out by my hand. She said, Lonesome George, you don't understand. Who do you love? The night was dark and the sky was blue. Down the alleyway I swag and flew. Hit a bump and somebody scream. You should have heard just what I seen. Who do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Oh, who do you love? Stone hat, a graveyard man. Just 22, baby, I don't mind dying. Snakeskin shoes, baby, put them on your feet. Got the good time music with a boat in the beat. Yeah, who do you love? Who do you love? I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. Brand new house on the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chin, the mama bit on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, child. Tell me who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Who do you love?
Oh, yeah. Front hoofing your communist mangina with the boot of freedom. It's post-politics. All up here. J-Rev Radio, Raz Radio Live, Salty Talk Radio, Radio Chaos, IPM Nation, and our most non-heinous YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
You have to do
heinous.
Either one or three. Works in odds if you want to see. It's cool, by the way. All right. So I'm sure half the people just click.
Like, what the fuck?
Fuck these fucking retards.
What the fuck is this about? Weird numerology shit are they getting into?
Oh man. All right. So here we are once again. Got a handful of stuff to get into. Some topics. The one that was breaking just a few hours ago. Did you see that fucking FBI guy?
No, I didn't see anything from a few hours ago.
He did a backflip in a club.
What?
He did a backflip in a club. His gun fell out the holster when he did the backflip. He went to pick it up, shot a friend of his.
What?
Picked it up. I think there's video of it. I think this just released. Like I was checking it before. I shared an article earlier, but Daily Wire shared. I think somebody had an actual video of it. So
wow. Okay.
I didn't watch the video yet, but I did read the article and whatever. But
fuck. And at least they're not intentionally killing other people.
But it's just like okay, but like we can't. We can't do our thing. Yeah, you're right. You know why? Because of people like you, the FBI agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
Jimmy Fallon shows up at the Parkland graduation ceremony. So
he can just laugh for no reason at everybody's comments.
Right. Feel very uncomfortable. Like, I don't know why he got that Tonight Show gig. Let me do a fucking minute on him. I know we bust, everybody busts on Kimmel for crying and being like, oh, well, that gets the hits. So it's
no, absolutely. He's a douche. I get it. But
Kimmel knows how to be that guy, though. So I'm saying, coming from Kimmel, it's probably not 100% genuine. But dude, somebody like Fallon, I've seen him interview Bill Burr and just out of anxious.
Yeah, didn't know what to do.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, no, don't say that. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Just completely out of control.
Right, and you're stepping on punch. Are you?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my thing is you should be good at conversation. Or you shouldn't be in that position. No, he is not at all.
When did the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon are rolling in their fucking graves right now. Oh,
yeah, guaranteed, dude. It's just,
Leno was, whatever, but.
Yeah, you can have opinions on Leno, but he wasn't, he was way better than, he was at least, listen, here's the thing is, Fallon's intimidated by people, and I don't mean intimidated as in they're being confrontational with him. They're not even being confrontational with him. He's just doesn't know how to handle other people in conversation. He starts. Yeah, I mean with that Bill Burr thing.
It's a great. I don't know. You want me to pull it up for a second?
Yeah, do it. It's a great bit.
We might get. I don't know, man. We might get flagged for that. I'm pretty sure we will.
Nah, if we do, then we'll blank it out. I can blank it out easy. It gives me the option. YouTube gives me the option to just remove it.
So, just to be clear, right quick, while I am queuing this up, if this happens when we're live streaming, it doesn't boot us off, right?
No, it won't boot us off while we're live. It'll wait until it'll do it when it re-uploads.
Okay. And you really got to go watch this video because, Fallon is just fucking squirming in his fucking chair,
And for no reason. It's not, that's the thing, is it's not it just doesn't make any sense. Yes, it's a great example of what we're talking about here.
Right. So, we'll play a little bit of it here.
You got a lot of cool stuff. Sold out at Carnegie Hall?
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations. That's awesome, buddy.
Yes, I was terrified when they booked that gig that only 14 people were going to show up. And that it would be acoustically perfect, me bombing in front of 14 people. So, thank God.
Also, you're getting honored at the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yes, I am.
Comedian of the Year. Dude, this is you.
I think technically I'm the guy who actually agreed to go there and accept the award.
Right, I know. Yeah. Thanks for coming on our Halloween show. I appreciate you dressing up. Thank you so much. In the costume. Are you into Halloween? Do you like it?
I'm totally into it. I was going to go as John Bonham this year. I had the whole shirt and everything, but I had to come out had to come out here to do this, but I totally get into like the pumpkin carving stuff.
Oh, hold on. Let me fast forward up.
Yeah.
Growing zucchini. And then what? All I'm doing is just growing that for the strongest guy in the block, you know?
Actually, Burr starts talking like voluntarism here. You know what I mean? Like he's like, you know, I'm huge into conspiracy, and he's like, you know, I want to take time to like grow zucchini or whatever, and he's like, but like all I'm doing is growing that for the strongest guy on the block should anarchy occur, you know, or whatever.
If he comes to take my shit,
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's the conversation being had, but
See, this is why you gotta come in and take. This is why the pumpkin didn't work. People just.
They're gonna come and take all your zucchini.
No, I'm serious. I've been going to gun stores and.
Oh my God!
And these rednecks are all telling me the same thing because I didn't grow up with guns. So they're just going, all right, you never had a gun, you want to get yourself a shotgun. It's got a great spread. That's what they keep saying. It's got a great spread. You don't even got to aim. You got a problem, you just sort of whip around. You get the guy, right? I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I just want to shoot the guy. I don't have to do like a bunch of drywall work and like reframe my diploma.
Are you with your girlfriend living in LA?
Yes, I am. I'm technically married, but I'm married how like I want to be married.
Yeah.
Which is I don't sign that behind the music contract where, you know.
This is where it starts getting awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you see Sugar Shea Mosley, one of the greatest boxers of all time, he's losing his championship belt in a divorce.
Oh, that's
Losing, it's like you're trying to break a man. Why does she want those? Right? So they go with their shoes. You know? No, and I love how when you get a divorce, all of a sudden it costs like 50 grand a month to give a kid Fruit Loops. Right?
This is so cool. This is a great.
An epidemic of gold whores in this country. And it is just not being addressed on any level.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? No, don't do that.
That's where Fallon starts to come unhinged, where he's just
like, oh my God, what do I do?
You gotta go a lot. Yeah, just keep the
Dude,
smile.
you can see it on his face, dude. It's like
fucking lost. He has
just completely worried.
Burr, like you have these handfuls of people, like fucking Rickles used to do this to fucking Carson, the greatest of all time. Rickles come on and fucking take the room over. Hey, Ed, the doctor called. You died an hour ago. You know, like just fucking murder. You know, on the Tonight Show, and he's like, what are you doing, Johnny? Hey, you hanging out by the pool a lot, huh? You getting that nice tan you got going there? You know, just ripping on them the entire time, and like fucking that's like having Robin Williams on the Tonight. Like you just gotta let him go.
Yeah, let him go, and you don't have to. And I think too, like
one of those kinds of guys, you just gotta feed like a line every so often to keep going, and just let him loose.
But you do have to realize, like, I mean, I will give it to him that, like, yes, the times have changed as far as like you will absolutely be. Like, you're gonna be fucking.
Oh yeah, have to answer for that shit. You never know.
You'll have to answer for the shit that other people did on your show. You know what I mean? In
celebrity culture nowadays, you never know when you're gonna be front. It could be totally passed over. Like this is something that was completely passed over, right? Like it was a good rant on Bill Burr's part, but. Like
you're gonna be fucking.
It was This was to answer for that shit. You never know.
You'll have to answer
Bill
for the
Burr
shit that
goes
other
on
people
misogynistic rant about the elite on Fallon last night. Like that wasn't the headline the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna hit and not hit.
Yeah. No, and if you don't like ridicule him for saying like gold digging whores, it's gonna be your ass. You know what I mean? Like I get that that's what he's worried about. But it's one of those things where you just have to be like, listen, dude. And actually, to tell you the truth, like Rogan's done a pretty good job of that, although he still gets shit for it. But
now I want to I'm glad you brought that up because Roseanne, I didn't find out until Saturday because I was like, what the fuck? Like Norton was talking about it like half the week that Roseanne was supposed to be on Rogan Friday. and all this stuff. But I did watch a good bit of the Candace Owens podcast.
See, I haven't seen either one of them. I went to go watch the Candace Owens one, but I was too early, and I actually thought that it had already been
Right.
I thought it was already up, and so I was too early, and then I just never had the chance to catch it again. So,
but yeah, like some of this, like this all kind of leans into a real deeper discussion than we usually have, just about like these fucking crybabies that wouldn't know a hard day's work if it bit them in the ass. And yeah, that's real white privilege. Fucking white people outraged at nothing, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Shit that doesn't even fucking affect you. Have so much time. That's real white privilege. Having so much time and energy to put towards something that doesn't fucking even affect you. That's
and really, it's just privileged privilege. It's the fucking people that just have that, like, that are rich enough, or their parents are usually.
Exactly. It's like you're NYU bitching about fucking shit that no, just say you don't understand. You want to sympathize with marginalized groups. Really, that's what those people want to do. They really want to.
And it's the ultimate fucking virtue signaling.
Right. I should say empathize. They truly, deeply want to understand and empathize with those types of marginalized groups of people. But the problem is that they have no, what do we say all the time? You have no frame of reference here, Donnie. You really
have no idea what the fuck is going on.
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie.
They have nothing to compare that to whatsoever. But we've got a couple more seconds I want to play. Like, this is where Fallon just starts to come unhinged.
Yeah.
So he's like, stop acting like you don't know that there's fucking gold digging whores out there.
Yeah, dude. Like, come on, man. This is not weird.
Here, hold on.
It's getting nobody's safe. Oh my God, nobody's safe. Football players, actors, politicians.
Nobody's
And they never
safe.
get called whores. Arnold Schwarzenegger's maid is still called the maid in the story. She knew his wife on a first name basis, hooked up with this dude in their bed, and is still called the maid. Why did she bang him? Why?
Jeez, yeah.
Because of that 1987 flat top he's still rocking?
Rules, man.
Yeah, dude.
So yeah, that's and you know, that's when you know, like, because Fallon starts going, "You are crazy.
You're crazy. Oh man, you're out of control, dude.
Yeah, you are you're outrageous. You know, but still with a smile on his face. It's so far removed from what the fuck we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. No, I mean, it's just so far removed from regular fucking society. Like, it's just out there.
Well, that's the other part about all this. I really want to make our mainline topic of discussion tonight, like, how we've become so jaded as a society. Like, we talk about this, and like I said, yeah, of course we go, people are uptight and they're too sensitive about shit, and yeah, we're rough, rugged, and raw dudes. We're the last of the dudes out there, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
We've had those conversations before, but like, there's so much that I've talked about recently that like leads to this culture of, I got a personal story to add in too tonight about that kind of mentality, just on a very, minor level, but just like how you read people. Me and you are dudes that are just like street smarts dudes that know how to read people. You know people's motives. My wife might actually be better than me at it, which I didn't think could happen with any chick that I could, you know, be with or anything. But like, she's not as vocal about it, but like, she knows, you know.
Yeah.
She fucking knows and can point it out better than most, you know. And for me as a dude, as a husband, it's not always the greatest thing. But
Yeah, no shit.
man, it's fucking, I want somebody I can get over on a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
But,
I need to be able to fucking win this a little bit here.
right. But you know, that just happens to be the fact of the matter and the case with a lot of these things. But how do we get there? And you think about these old ways of thinking and certain situations that people are put in that are totally alien to people nowadays. And it's like, I think people our age and older are like, don't even take that into consideration anymore. They're just like, these are people that just go along with the times, and they're just like, this is what it is now. It's not like, no, do you remember when we used to do the thing, you know? And it's like, that's not I'm not talking about sicking fire hoses on people in the middle of a lunch counter. I'm talking about like, you know, we do this when we go to the store, or what, you know, what, like, it's very minute, regular things that have sort of been stripped away from how people are used to living. Like, that's not okay anymore. And it's like, some of these things I agree with. You know, I'm not a fruitcake or nothing when it comes to this stuff. You know, I like, if you don't like it, that's fine. But like, that's not going to change how I'm living. Like, I'll still say retarded, you know, all the time, you know. So
no, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if a kid is actually retarded, I will call the kid retarded. Like, no, so he's retarded. That's, you know what I mean? But like, in a legitimate way, not even meaning it to be a put down, but like, that's what it's called. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
It's strange. It's really, really fucking strange.
You know, I mean, it's got a lot to do with language, but it also has to do, like I said, I watched a couple clips of that Candace Owens Rogan podcast that was like, wow, you know, because I never really paid attention to Candace Owens, to tell you the truth.
I've watched a couple of her videos,
but she tells this story about how her introduction to all this stuff is, I'm not going to go through the whole thing or whatever, but like, she got a handful of calls on one night when she was 17, when she was hanging out with her boyfriend, with a bunch of racist shit, you know, that people left on voicemails or picked up the phone and called. One of them happened to be the time where she was living at the time was Connecticut, happened to be the governor's son. And
wow,
she had a bad day the next day at school. You know what I mean? Like, she was just like, still obviously upset about, you know, these 4 or 5 random phone calls that she got, right? Then she told her teacher, like, you know, this is why I'm acting like this, you know, or whatever. And I'm just, you know, I'm just a little fucked up about it, basically. And teacher carried the ball in the same way. If you get your ass beat in a fucking legitimate fight that you started, and then you go and fucking try to call the cops on somebody, same a bitch move. This teacher goes no, and got the school resource officer and blew it up into this big. He found out that the FBI got involved because it involved the governor at this time's son. You know,
damn,
this shit. And she was like, honestly, I thought even at 17, I was like, yeah, I had a bad day because that's obviously upsetting, you know, but an apology would have done. I didn't need mainstream news picked it up, you know, and said people accused her of lying about it because it involved like the governor's son and all of this shit, right? You know?
Yeah.
So it was like my thoughts and my being wasn't my own during that time. Like, people just picked that up as a huge story and ran with it, you know? And it was like, that's got nothing to do with me. I didn't want all of this, you know.
I didn't have anything to do with this shit.
Anyway, that was her changing of the tide of, quote, outrage culture and whatever you want to call it nowadays. So, but it's a very interesting story. You know, if you should go check it out.
I'll have to see that shit.
It was a pretty good podcast. But
yeah, I mean, any videos that I've watched of hers have been cool. She's like a real blunt fucking person, so it's kind of cool to.
Let's be honest.
I always
like,
enjoy hearing fucking blunt people speak.
There's always something about, of course, having somebody. You know, if everything's racist nowadays, like, it always helps to have a Stacey Dash or a Candace Owens or you know, somebody that is not of the white male culture. Just have an honest discussion.
Yeah. Oh no, it's actually required. Like, you can't, like, if it was only white men speaking back against white men being fucking judged unfairly, then nothing would happen, like, at all. Like, it would never go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing though with like slavery and things like that. Like, if it had only been black people that were upset about slavery at least would have taken much longer to go away. So you always need somebody of the I don't want to say the oppressing fucking side, but you always want somebody from the other side that speaks on it realistically as well.
Yeah, I saw another video, and not like I'm like this big MAGA or fucking anti-immigrant dude or whatever, but
no,
like,
I mean, here, like, dude, I listen to both sides.
Hold on, dude, you can't let me hang out there without explaining. Like, but I saw another video of a guy addressing a Texas, a local, I forget the town or whatever, but it was like a local thing about the border patrol presence in the area somewhere along southwest Texas, but and he was going like, I've been here for 40 years. Me and my mom came up, and this guy is a Mexican dude, showed up in a MAGA hat and the whole bit. Like, I'm not even that enthusiastic,
yeah
that shit. But I'm saying, like, this guy's like, no, like, logic has to be, that's the thing that we're really combating, is logistics have to be taken out of every argument in order for these types of people to like succeed in what they're doing. It's just about making you feel bad for being like, and it's like, well, no, the earth is round,
yeah.
I'm not apologetic about it because I had nothing to do with making it that way. It's just like, you're a fucktard, and that's the end of my story. No, like,
and I mean it's fucking crazy that we have that. Well, dude, let's hit the intro.
I have to call you a fucktard, but
it's
like,
fucking no, dude. We have like this huge issue with this shit at this point that it's like being truthful is now fucking could be racist or sexist or anything.
Well,
I mean, look at the shit that.
Yeah,
look at the shit that Jordan Peterson goes through, where he's like citing specific like scientific shit. Like, it's not.
Nobody wants to fucking. Everybody's lazy.
And it's like, dude, he's not even saying like, and he specifically will say, I don't like, and somebody will be like, so what do you believe? And he's like, well, I believe this because science says so. I'm not saying that I believe it because it's just something I want to believe. Scientific fact says that this is the case.
And here's what we've come to with that, though. The real thing is that, like, now, while you and I personally might have our own bias about things, it's like we're still open enough to go, well, show me the evidence. And if that happens to be, I was like, oh, well, I might not completely say like, oh, you're completely right and I'm completely wrong. I'm saying I might have to look into this a little further, and I probably will regroup my line of thinking if this compels me to do so.
Yeah, if it's legit. I mean, because one of the biggest problems that I end up having is that people fucking go to the whole fucking I'mRight.com deal, and then it's like, all right, well, wait a second though, like what I mean, this site that you're citing also says that reptilians exist, so I can't consider that valid. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't.
I just don't believe it. Goddamn it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I'm sorry, but there's no other articles on what you're talking about. I checked, scientific journals, and I'm getting nothing. And so your only reference is this site that talks about reptilians and the point you're making. I can't fucking do it. You know what I mean?
And the bad thing is like, I think, from a conservative standpoint, I think that those people are not right to start to play. Last episode we brought up the whole Roseanne versus the Samantha Bee thing,
Yeah.
And it's like, conservatives, Republicans, etc., are starting to play the liberal game. Like, how come it's up when Roseanne says something, but when Samantha Bee says something,
why can't I say it if she can say it? Like, it's the same dude with the white guys that just have to be able to say nigga. And you're like, shut up, dude. Like, the fact that they say it, like, and this is always the example I use, and I'm sure I've said it before. Like, listen, dude, I can call my wife a bitch, but if you call my wife a bitch, I'm fucking pissed off. You know what I mean?
I'm a part of that crowd, but
no, but that's kind of my thing. Like, if I'm like,
I never call my wife a bitch.
No, but you know what I'm saying, though. But like, it's
meaning form.
But I mean, no, definitely not in a mean form. But that's what I'm saying, just in general. Like, I mean, you know, and the other example, is like, I can call my mom a bitch, but you can't. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Like that. I get it. Like, I'm not
me, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just in general. It's not the way to fucking go.
It's not fair, and it's not honest, you know. So it's like, I don't have to be a Republican to tell you that the between how social media works, how media in and of itself works, and how entertainment as a whole works. We all know how that works, and if you don't by now, you're fucking retarded, you know.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, mental midget. But they, you know, they put all this stuff out there. So it's like, I understand that, but it's like, guess what? It's like war games. How do you fucking win? Yeah. Just turn the motherfucker off. Like, don't play it. You know, like, just don't play. And you have that right side of the aisle starting to play the game, and it's going, no, that's not what you do. Not like, do I say stick to the script? This time I'm saying, if conservatives, Republicans, etc., had one iota of fucking integrity left, they would go, just, you know, war games it, dude. Just turn the motherfucker off.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, all of those things, it's one of those deals that just doesn't fucking click. People should know that. Like, and it's not even, there's some shit that, like,
they have to fake outrage, because they're not really outraged in the same way the left is. You know what I mean? So it's like they have to fake their own phony outrage just to prove the point.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up part. You know?
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, is that, no, you're being just as fucking disingenuous, and you're just being a fucking asshole, and you know it. At that point, you're no different than a troll, and a troll is not fucking looking to solve an issue. And so if what you're trying to do is just argue to argue, then shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, you're not helping anybody. You're not even helping the people that you're claiming to fucking want to help. Like, if you're
even save myself,
yeah, dude. Like, it just is. It's absolutely insane, and I don't really understand the reasoning behind it. Like, I hate that fucking, if somebody says something about fucking Trump being a shithead, Trump guys don't like, and I'm talking about, they bring up a particular issue, right? But
like us all the time.
But it's like, oh, but what about Obama? And you're like, listen, dude, we're not gonna fucking make it on these comparisons. Like, we're just not. Like, listen, is your guy being a fucking dick and you don't like what he's doing? Then admit it. Other than that, there's no reason to, like, now get into a Obama-Trump debate, because that's not going to solve any issues.
This is really the only validity that you need to point to that, and you could say the same thing about the Obama-Bush comparison, and so on and so forth, whether it's a president or anybody else.
Well, and that's what I do. I always make the comparison between multiple fucking presidents, not just the last guy.
Right. The point is like, hey, Donald Trump is actually right on this. George W. Bush couldn't have got this same issue more wrong. You know, I'm that guy. I'm like, no, like, I can look at things logistically, because I think, you know, I do that, whatever that fucking Carlin,
that fucking thing,
weird thing called thinking, you know. And I look at things logistically, and it's like, if that aligns with what I feel is right, then that's right, and if it's wrong, it's wrong. So I don't need to fucking identify myself with party politics, etc. You know, I mean, fuck, dude. I don't know if anybody else has been paying attention out there, predominantly our audience, but, you know, like, the Libertarian Party shit is a shitstorm of monumental proportions, you know, right now. I mean, it is fucked on all sides. But
I would make the argument that if you want to become a mainstream political party, you pretty much have to become fucked on every side.
Absolutely, yeah. But let's hit timeout. We'll hit a break. And,
we never even hit fucking intro.
No, we didn't. But tell you what, we got enough time. We'll hit 2 short songs and the fucking intro at the same time. So How you like them apples?
There we go.
We'll be right back, everybody. About 6 or 7 minutes.
And the sad part is that most people seem to have been indoctrinated to believe that bullshit only comes from certain places, certain sources. Advertising, politics, salesmen, not true. Bullshit is everywhere.
The NWO Fighter, the show that gets America its balls back.
And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, by all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
I don't want to put a violent connotation on it, but this is a war zone. I'm talking about my life and yours.
If you're not on some government list by now, you're doing something wrong.
After 8 years of lies and hypocrisy, people love this guy. Leads me to a very disturbing question. How far up your ass does this guy's dick have to be before you realize he's fucking you?
It's good for kids, too.
I mean, you're born absolutely free except for laws of nature. Those, if you drink, you get drunk. That's a law. If you get old, you die. That's a law, too. If you sit on a tack, you will bleed from the ass. These are the only laws that you're born with, and any government just fucks you out of that type of freedom.
If you're not involved by now, you are just as much at fault as our oppressors.
I was terrified when my doctor told me that I had a unique and interesting personality trait.
It's post-politics with Trip Q.
My dick's so shitty. My dick's so shitty from your asshole. Dick's so shitty. My dick's so shitty from your asshole. Say you won't blow me, I get in your face. Say you only take the cock in your dirty face. Now I'm all filthy, there's jewelry on my dick. It looks just like a black man's, but not quite as thick. Your cooling needs a diaper, 'cause I'm in your cold blood. Got a dirty hamper, and my dick's all shitty. My dick's all shitty from your asshole. My dick's all shitty. My dick's all shitty from your asshole. Dick's all shitty. My dick's all shitty from your asshole.
I've been beat up bad, I've been kicked around, I've been thrown out of every damn bar in this old town. In this old town. I guess I don't like the way we like to have our fun, 'cause I'm always out there and I'm on the run, and I'm running and I'm gunning and I'm looking for a damn good time. I've done so much trip, I can't look you in the eye, even though I was trying to find that ultimate high, and I was hanging with my good friend, and his name is David Allen Coe. Well, I was running real hard, he was running real fast, and we got caught up there on the pass, and we ended up at this bar on the side of that road. I've been beat up bad, I've been kicked around, I've been thrown out of every damn bar in this old town. In this old town. I guess I don't like the way we like to have our fun, 'cause I'm always out there and I'm on the run, and I'm running and I'm gunning and I'm looking for a damn good time. I've done so much trip, friend, Mr. George Jones. Well, I was messed up mad, he was messed up right. Me and George, well, we sat and we talked all night about the good times and how country music's lost its soul. I've been beat up bad, I've been kicked around, I've been thrown out of every damn bar in this old town. In this old town. I guess I don't like the way we like to have our fun, cause I'm always out there and I'm on the run, and I'm running and I'm gunning and I'm looking for a damn good time.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. By the way, big ups to my homie and owner of one of our affiliates, Raz Radio. Big ups to Big Sean Raz for turning 43 today. Still looking like a freshly shaved fucking 19-year-old boy and shit, too, though. Straight up. Fucking getting him young. him and Lexi, who, like, last fucking Raz Fest we had, you know, I think Lexi's like my age, but like her and Brittany, I go, look, listen, some weird shit's gonna be afloat. It's Raz Fest, you know. It's some shit like Brittany is pretty conservative when it comes to like debauchery and shit. Like I'll be like, well, if the fucking shoe fits, let's fucking get it. Yeah. But I'm, otherwise I am, relatively conservative when it comes to that stuff. But, fucking, I said, trust me, Lexi's your new best friend. And I fucking threw Lexi on Britt, and I was just like, look, you guys are two peas in a pod. Trust me, just hang out together. Nothing will go wrong. Like, sure enough, of course, she liked Lexi a lot and everything else of the like. But yeah, I'm still getting a little bit of feedback off of your headphones, bro. I don't know if your head shit's too loud, but it's coming over the mic. I don't know. But yeah, where we last left our heroes, as Zach likes to fucking refer to us as. When we last left our heroes, we were talking all of this hog shit that happens to be modern day culture that even seeps into the most unsuspecting, because in more I wouldn't say like necessarily rural areas, because like where I live is historically a rural area outside of Orlando, but you've got a lot of shit seeping in, and you've also got like this, stronger religious presence. You have like the artsy type people that, our next town over is predominantly, I guess what's commonly referred to as artsy fartsy people. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not even Austin. It's like as small as Lovelady, pretty much. So, as far as the town, but that's the culture of the town. Like ours is more like farming people and fucking rednecks and shit like that. But I'm just saying, like all of these different things are seeping into historic cultures of geographic areas, I think would be probably the best way to put it. You understand what I'm saying? Like where it's like, it didn't always used to be that way around here, but all of a sudden, like this is fucked up around here, or whatever. And it's like, but you also, and I honestly, I truly don't mean that in just a liberal influence on a conservative rural area. I mean, like conservatives double downing on fucking MAGA shit. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That in and of itself is sort of bizarre too. It's like, yeah, but you know what? Like, I think Bush had a certain Southern appeal, even though he's fucking from Connecticut and from a very prestigious family. Yeah, he's still not one of us, but like I think people had a different tune about Bush, not naively so, by the way. You didn't have the wealth of knowledge, right, but also you didn't have the wealth of knowledge at your fingertips and cell phones when Bush was fucking around. You know what I mean? Like things have changed. Yes. Absolutely. That should totally be a bit, man. Yeah, what would George Bush be tweeting if it was like 2006? You know, right? I I tell you what's the most bizarre thing is that Bush is sort of looked at this point. You know, we're talking how long? 10 years after the fact. 10 years we are here without Bush. And I think for all the shit that was happening, like Bush is still W is way more of a sympathetic, empathetic figure 10 years after. Then, or no, I'm just saying like then how people viewed Bush 2007. Yeah, but it's like, oh, well, like, yeah, you start to look, but going back to the discussion we were having earlier, is that people start looking at him as more of a like, oh, we're looking at the things that he dealt with in retrospect, logistically now. You know what I mean? And trust me, I am not one to fucking take up for W. You won't hear me do that. But you hear people talk about him and what he's doing and what he did. And, everybody kind of understands Karl Rove and Dick Cheney were running the fucking country and he was the mouthpiece. And, like, yeah, he's a dope. He was a dope when he fucking, got into the presidency. But, like, so you won't hear like a kind word for him out of me. It's just interesting how people look at that in retrospect as opposed to when it was happening, I guess. Absolutely. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's silly. When we were born, Ronald Reagan, the first fucking celebritarian, or not, I say celebritarian esque type of fucking like, yeah, this guy was a fucking, whatever, the actor, that's the other famous line. I want to get that drop, by the way. I'm writing it down right now. I'm going to fucking make that a drop. Um, when he, Marty McFly goes back to 1955 and he goes, "Who's the president?" And he goes, "Ronald Reagan." And he goes, "Ronald Reagan." Doc Brown goes, "Ronald Reagan, the actor?" Like, and he can't believe that Ronald Reagan, the actor, is president of the United States. And that's 1985. When we were born, we had the first, like, of what is now Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? And we had those political families, come up through the ranks. But, you look at who's been running the country, the past 40 years, it's like, holy shit, bro. That's a whole other ball of wax, man. It's like, remember we covered that story too. Like when Obama finally got on Twitter, he used the POTUS Twitter, right? You know what I mean? Like it was like, and Donald Trump was like, "Nah, fuck the POTUS Twitter." Like, no, I'm Donald J. Trump, bitch. You better recognize. It's like, about that. That is gangster as fuck, though. You know what I mean? You know what I've heard from a You know what I've heard from a lot of fucking people that think about this regularly, and I've heard this on multiple podcasts, media outlets, etc. Is that what really fucking when they did the correspondence dinner and right, dude, talking to somebody like Donald Trump, who people have been begging, I can pull up shit from 1988 that right, that they're begging Donald Trump to run for fucking president on talk shows and shit. And people are applauding. Uh, Everybody does fucking care about those. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like we said earlier, it's just about being a fucking level-headed person and looking at things for what they really are and not having to buy. Yeah, stop fucking idolizing people, you know?
Obviously, we all.
Right. But here's where, and I'll throw this, even though we're not like, we're more intertwined with, I guess, what you would call like libertarianism and the political aspect of the Libertarian Party than we are anything else compared to that. But you go like, people are like, you got to believe, no, like party, no, a party above all. And it's like, dude, you do not know, like, you want to fucking catapult libertarianism into the mainstream? Like, you're like, well, we have stats and we have numbers that show that fucking people from the Democratic and Republican side decided to vote libertarian in the last election. So what we need is somebody that, really gets to the mainstream because our numbers are rising and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, you want to follow party politics like that, you will never see a libertarian president. What you You'll get a stooge like Donald Trump that is still like, yo, Jeff Sessions, get off the fucking marijuana deal and help me out, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that. Like, Donald Trump is a lifelong Democrat, really. I mean, up until this point, minus taxes. Right. Oh, great track record. I don't have wrong faults, Stan Connor. Like. Sure. That was the other. That was like the other thing that was like called out too. I'm sorry, I would definitely quote them if I could remember, but I listen to so many damn shows, it's hard to remember. But somebody had said recently about like, no, motherfuckers, like real conservatives, like real Republicans wanted Ted Cruz in office. You know what I mean? But if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Donald Trump, guess what? Like, no one else will say this. Here's what no one else will say is that fucking, guess what? All you liberal fucking people that want to fucking shame people and get people fired, people got tired of feeling like shit for their natural fucking thoughts, far beyond like, just like, oh, that guy's a racist. Like, don't get me wrong, like, that's fucking wrong and you should disassociate from that person. But like, everything like everything that such and such does is fucked up because we're white or dudes or whatever. Like, like trying to throw that on everybody and the media fucking chewing it up like fucking, just chocolate out the fucking carpet is really what it is like. It's like smudged chocolate in the fucking carpet, and the media is just like, how much more can we get out of this fucking shag carpet? Like, I don't know, but we got to keep chewing. That's what those people did, and it's like, that's the distaste of what like modern day America really feels is like. You can plaster your fucking college campus bullshit and all of that stuff all over your networks, but it's like the majority of America is fucking over that. Like, they're done with Like you did that. You making that your battle cry, leftism, making that your battle cry, is what got Donald Trump elected. Because guess what? People would have fucking thrown their support. Republicans would have thrown their support behind Ted Cruz if Ted Cruz had gone over. You know what I mean? But you had this fringe element of society who was like, you know what? I like Donald Trump because he fucking like that's he gives the media, he calls all these people out on their bullshit, and it's like that was the that was the mass appeal. That was the mass appeal. That's what garnered people going, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm not even a real conservative like that. I'm not a Republican, but like I really like how I'm a centrist, but I really like how fucking Trump is giving the media good deep dicking on all the bullshit that they've done that everybody can see if you're not half a fucking retard. You know, like that's really what led to the presidency that we have now, is because people are tired of fucking being scolded. People are tired of being ashamed for shit that it's just shit that they shouldn't be ashamed for. Absolutely. We made a joke on here before that fucking that movie where they're all fucking Neanderthals, Quest for Fire or whatever that was. There's like zero dialogue. And I've made that joke on this show plenty of times that Ron Perlman didn't really need a bunch of makeup comparatively speaking to the other actors for that fucking movie. I've made that joke on this show before that Ron Perlman didn't need as much makeup as the rest of the people to do Quest for Fire. You know, yeah, exactly. Well, the point is that it was very specific, and Rogan's brought this up on the past couple podcasts too, where he's like, uh I've talked to her, of course they tried to set that shit up for Friday, fell through or whatever, but he goes, she's fucking on Ambien, and like and she did say, like, an the whatever company that makes Ambien came out was like, hey, side effects don't include racism, which is a very funny and awesome tweet for Ambien. But everybody who knows anything has somebody in their life that they know that has an Ambien story where they fucking bake cakes in the middle of the night or drive to the store and have no recollection. Like it's not totally out of whack to say that, like, if you're drinking and on Ambien, and Rogan said that, he's like, she's drinking and she's 65 years old right now and doing this past that season, filming that season of Roseanne, the reboot here, it like took a lot out of her, you know what I mean? Which, like, is it's fair to admit. I don't have to take up for Roseanne, and she's Jewish too, by the way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. Like, Roseanne's a Jewish woman. Right. Right. not only that, but she's the point, the actual thing that I picked up on that, looking at it logistically, and I guess the rest of the world are just not big Planet of the Apes fans. It was my grandfather that just passed over Christmas. It was his favorite shit. I'll tell you what, man, I gotta fucking tell you something, man. Before we hit break here, I'm gonna get fucking serious for a moment, man. So that War of the Planet of the Apes came out over Thanksgiving, I think, or maybe just before. Maybe it was over the summer, because like July is when we found out that he had cancer, and he died on Christmas morning. So I think he was already too sick, man. But like I was like, he was super into Planet of the Apes, so we would sit there like that was my introduction to Planet of the Apes. My grandfather, he loved to, we watched that like those first 3 movies or whatever that they made of those, and he was like a super huge fan into that. And I was like, I desperately want to take my grandfather. Like as soon as I found out he had cancer, I was there the next fucking weekend. I went to the grocery store, made my grandparents breakfast and all that shit, and I wanted to. He just wasn't up for it, man. But that last War of the Planet of the Apes that came out, I still haven't seen it, honestly. I don't think. But he loved the originals, so I was like, man, I want to take him to see that, and he just wasn't up for it, man. But like, anyway, I didn't mean to get all sentimental for a moment, but I feel it's necessary to throw shit like that out there from time to time. But that bitch that's in that fucking movie has that helmet head fucking hair. That was the joke, was the helmet head hair. The dark. That was the joke in the Roseanne tweet. It wasn't, you look like a fucking ape, you fucking monkey, whatever. It was the helmet hair gimmick was the actual joke that Roseanne was going for. But it's a stretch, man. Like I said, it's a stretch, but and like I said, I don't need to take up for Roseanne. She hasn't, whatever. I mean, it is one of the shows I've watched every episode of, minus the new season. I've seen a handful of the new season. Oh, good. All right. Yeah, I've watched every episode of the old Roseanne. But it's just, like I said, I don't need to take up for her. Nobody needs to take up for her. She's still a fucking millionaire, and a very iconic person. But it's just like, it really narrows into what the fuck we were talking about earlier, which is if you have any sort of conservative points, you better mind your P's and Q's if you want to stay in entertainment. Anthony Cumia, Nick DiPaolo, Roseanne, every conservative that I know that doesn't even tweet out anything, like it's all tweets too. Get off of fucking Twitter, first off. Get off of fucking Twitter, man. You know what? If you really want to do that, go into a fucking most of these people are stand-ups too, by the way. So it's like, if you have that medium, fucking go into a club and fucking work out that kind of material. Don't fucking tweet it out. Don't tweet it out. I see so many comedians that I even respect throw out, put up throwaway lines on Twitter that ends up getting them fucked instead of trying it out, like constructing a joke around it and actually trying to make that part of their act. And to work on that and craft it until it's like not where everybody goes, oh, or this person's doing this bit, we need to get rid of them from society, like altogether, like work on it, craft it, work it out in the clubs. These people are stand-ups, get it done that way. I don't even like Twitter, man. I really don't. I'm on it, but like I don't, the bulk of my shit is on Facebook, and my Facebook gets shared directly to Twitter. My personal Facebook and the Post Politics page gets tweeted. Yeah, like Twitter. Right. Yeah, Twitter's totally fucked. Like I said, like I don't give a fuck what happens on Twitter. I know that some people, like, if I have anything directly related to a radio personality or a celebrity that I fucking do, like, that's where I go to do that. But other than that, I don't give a fuck. I put it on Facebook and it goes directly to my Twitter. And that's, I've even tried to make my Facebook more joke oriented lately. Other than personal stuff, I share pretty much anything that I have to say politically, for the most part, is shared on the Post Politics page. Everything else is like either personal stuff or me joking, me trying to post joke type material. But I don't know, man. It's either here nor there, but we'll figure something out when we return. We'll get in it. Well, yeah, it seems redundant to do this all night, but we'll get into some other shit, have some fun on the back end. So we'll be back in the next handful, everybody, about 6 or 7 minutes. Stay tuned. More Post Politics coming up next. Second hour official kickoff. Booyah.
If she wants to dance and drink all night, well, there's no one that can stop her. She's going till the house lights come up, or her stomach spills onto the floor. This night is gonna end when we're damn well ready for it to be over. Worked all week long, now the music is playing on our time. Yeah, we do
and I'm fully loaded.
Fully fucking loaded.
I ran into a gas station and blew somebody's head off their neck. I thought it was a dream, but then I look and see that I'm a bloody wreck. My God. I can't run to my mama house, I know that she would never understand. I might as well be a man and finish what the fuck I began. Fuck it. I walked out and started walking away like I ain't seen a fucking thing. I went across the street and walked up to the drive-thru window at a Burger King. I knocked on a glass and the kid leaned out to tell me they were closed. Close this. I blew a hole in his face and his boy was like, damn, you got hoes, Tommy, you got hoes.
I feel ready to die, but it's taking so long.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
I just keep moving on, keep trying to stay strong.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
Some think bitch asses thinking they ain't about to get shot. Man, fuck that.
I started hopping through backyards and ran into a 7-Eleven. Jumped up on the counter, aimed my shit and blew a hole in his melon. I dragged his body in and back and did the same to everybody again. Till the walls and the windows got so bloody, wasn't nobody coming in. Police started surrounding the building and I ain't got no hostages, but I fronted like I did, holding up some dead kid. I said, I'm coming out. They said, don't bother, and started shooting. The corpse I'm holding up ain't got no head and they ain't stupid. I ran into the back and started drinking Drano bottles, getting high as fuck. I'm going out in hell of bullets, full throttle. I loaded my shit again, but I never had a chance to shoot. Somebody blew my head off, all I heard was woof on the nail of the 40.
Taking so long.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
I just keep moving on, keep trying to stay strong.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
Who hasn't went on a PCP binge and shot at a couple cops? I mean, come on.
I'm ready to die, but it's taking so long.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
I just keep moving on, keep trying to stay strong.
The world's so wicked, the world's so wrong.
I'm ready to die, but it's taking so long. I just keep moving on, keep trying to stay strong.
We're back. Post politics back at it. The night of the 44. That's a that is really like a prime suspect for like that's one of the best arguments I can make for Violent J, like just painting a movie in your head.
Yeah, that's good shit.
It's like
I liked it.
Anybody can say what they want to, but it's like, you know, it really does paint like a fucking movie scene in your head.
Nah, dude, it was a good song, man. I enjoyed it. It was actually the first time I ever heard that.
Yeah, I won't elaborate any further, but yeah, that's one of my cases for fucking Violent J. So, all right. I don't know. Do you want to get into I don't know. You got anything you want to get into, or?
No, I mean, I'm good with whatever, dude.
Talk about this fucktard that fucking shot his friend.
God damn.
Agent that shot his friend at the fucking...
At least it was his friend, you know what I mean? Like, really. Like, at least it wasn't like, you know, some random other person.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? It was like, hey, you knew the dipshit you were hanging out with. Fucking God. I mean, really, dude, like, this should be a whole thing of like, all right, so, I mean, wouldn't you have to say that, at this point, law enforcement's not even that good at having guns?
It's not. It's like, stop with this fucking false argument. I'll put my fucking bullshit up against the biggest redneck fucking dipshit. Honestly. Like, I'm not gonna fucking sit here and make a argument for redneck dipshits, but even you know how to like drink and not fucking shoot somebody. You know what I mean? Like, go hunting drunk as fuck and not fucking shoot anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and anybody that understands physics understands that your holster will not work if you're upside down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that shit doesn't work that way.
You know what I don't do? I don't do a backflip in a club and fucking have a gun on me, you know, like I don't know, man. I'm watching this.
It's like, dude, I just don't get it at all. Like, I don't understand what made them think that that was gonna fucking work out. I just don't understand how the fuck you end up doing any of this bullshit. Really, I mean,
it's just retarded. Look, I hate to keep bringing it up or whatever, like, and I'm not trying to purposely sound insensitive or whatever, but like all of this shit is just what I would consider fucking purely retarded behavior. It's
absolutely
idiotic. It's moronic. If you're uncomfortable with the retard word, like it's moronic.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
I'll say it.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll come in with that one. It's fucking retarded. Yeah.
Jeez. Not really though.
It just doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't get it. Why in the fucking world? Like, would you? I mean, really, dude. That's kind of the thing. Like, I don't even understand. Why did he go clubbing with his fucking pistol on him?
How did we get here, dude?
Like, why are we having to discuss this? This is fucking stupid.
And like I said, this is supposed to be somebody that's supposed to be this fucking trained person with a firearm, and it's like,
dude, he's not even like your regular run-of-the-mill, fucking dumb cop. He's a FBI agent. He's supposed to be like,
Brody, you do not get it. I am an FBI agent.
It's like, god damn, yeah.
It's purely point break.
Oh, you don't think I'm a real FBI agent? Watch me do this backflip. Get the fuck out of here. What?
People who suffer mental illness are suffering from pain, and it's nothing to laugh at.
It's really
It's like, this is how you can tell that I'm a real FBI agent. Check out this backflip.
This is real life at this point. Do you understand?
Which is, I mean, just beautiful.
Not like everybody says. Like dumb, I'm smart, and I want respect.
Oh, it's earned, sir. It's earned.
That shit is not gonna fly, bro.
You're not holding up. And I think that's the other stigma. I don't think we've discussed that in detail either. When you talk about military personnel, when you talk about police officers, when you talk about firemen, and like firemen and EMTs, as far as like first responder type people or any people among like military personnel or whatever, it's like firemen and EMTs are usually more even-keeled people than the fucking rest of us. They really are.
Yeah.
They are. Firemen and EMTs are the best possible. Like, I would rather, if they were willing, I would rather send them into a, quote, battlefield before the fucktards we got going on out there. So it's like, are you primed? And not only that, things like firemen and EMTs, I don't think that's said enough either. That's something that's more like, that's the arena that you want to go into more than I don't know how I'm going to pay for college and I don't know what I want to do in my life. Like, I think that you kind of, or I was picked on in high school and I want to exert my authority over people. Like those types of mentalities, it's like, hey, if you're a CPS worker fucking and a pedophile, you're probably,
it doesn't work.
You probably chose the right fucking place to be. If you're a pedophile, why not go into CPS? What I'm saying?
They're going to hand the kids over to you.
Absolutely. It's like, you don't even have to do any work. Back in our day, they used to have to fucking...
You had to work to be a molester.
Right, you had to sit outside the schoolyard in a fucking rusty...
You had to invest in some type of fucking van that looked friendly to children,
Milk duds fucking melting in your lap and fucking just waiting for the time to come and catch a straggler. Okay, that's the way it came out in our days. A retarded straggler at that, Not just like, hey, I want candy, but I like my butthole for virginity better, like just Like that's really the world that we've come from, as opposed to now. Now it's just like, hey, become a government employee and fucking rape, murder, and sell kids. I guess.
Yeah, which I mean, really happens pretty often. I mean, like, dude, these little orphanages and shit where they send kids are some of the worst places for kids to be. Like, that's without a doubt.
You've got these PETA motherfuckers that talk all this shit about dogs and shit, and it's like, do you understand? Like, CPS and fucking foster care does the same thing to children.
Yeah. Oh, dude, like, I keep hearing, like...
It's parallel.
When I hear the fucking, like, dude, people make the arguments for when I'm, like, talking about fucking war or abortion or anything that kills people. Like, I constantly have people that are like, well, I think that the more important thing that we need to be worrying about is the earth and the environment that we're creating. And, like, you're like...
I'm a proud shitholer.
I'm like, dude, what? You're... The environment is where you're worried about? Like, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Like, that's your thing?
Like, it
there's
might be
human beings dying, and you're like, nah, dude, but I'm worried about the environment.
It might be fucked up, and I understand like trying to get ahead of the curve on certain issues, but when we talk about things like that, it's like, look, man, you and I are gonna be dead long before the fucking quote environment, if even.
Yeah, and if we don't stop the fucking people killing people for no reason, it could be even sooner. So, like.
How about let's try to focus on how not to make nuclear war inevitable? Like that's
like can we fucking do a little bit more of that? That would be cool.
We do that? That seems more beneficial because it doesn't really matter if our grandkids die of fucking global warming, if that's what you really believe, because in the same respect, people that say we're gonna die from nuclear or climate change and global warming above these are the same people that believe that we're gonna die in nuclear warfare. Like, well, which do you think's gonna happen first? Do you think the entire planet's gonna get wiped off the fucking face of the earth, population wise, through global warming or nuclear warfare first?
Yeah. It's fucking insane. It really
Trips,
is.
You never know what the cycles of look at the hurricanes and earthquakes and volcanoes.
Maybe in their head though they're like, but I mean, a nuclear winter could actually be better than this warming that's happening.
Go suck my dick. Suck my dick twice. Dude,
it is absolutely insane, man.
I will be willing to go the limp dick fucking second suck in order to nut in your fucking face the second time around.
Yeah.
Right? I'll try my damnedest because you people are fucked.
No, it is a little ridiculous, man. I don't fucking get it, man. I really don't. Like, I don't have a... I've lost a lot of fucking, like, at least as far as politics is concerned, dude, I've lost a lot of fucking hope for people. Like,
respect for a lot of people that I
I would say respect more than anything.
But we gotta preface that by saying people that we otherwise would, like, they're involved, you know, they stay involved, but like your ideology and your way of going about things is completely fucked beyond repair at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Sorry, I just can't sign on for this any longer. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it is definitely taking a fucking turn for the worse, and it's like everybody is just fucking completely confused. It's strange as shit.
The thing is that people have put their emphasis on not making their lives better. Like, that's I guess that's the real hammer home point for tonight here with the conversation that we've had, is that people have put such less and less emphasis on hammering their own lives home than they have making other people's lives miserable or righting the wrongs that they see in modern day society instead of focusing on themselves. Like I say all the time that we come from like a selfish culture and everybody only gives a fuck about number one and there's little humanity left in the world. et cetera, et cetera. Here's an arena that you really should look a lot more deeply into, is that look out for number one. There's a certain aspect of look out for number one that these fucking people that are perpetuating all this bullshit like fail to like realize. They're narcissistic, but they're narcissistic in like the most wrong of ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just strange.
It's like, you know, this hammers home in a fucking like completely different aspect than what you're advocating, right? You know, this doesn't make sense to me, bro. You know?
Yeah, I don't get it at all. I don't know, dude. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of shit that points me, like, that makes me feel good about really either side. Like, I mean, it's not like, oh, well, these guys have points. Like, I mean, yeah, you could go to like your Ben Shapiro's and guys like that are like talking about reason kind of to a degree, but
it's almost what you have to do. I hate to be that like don't get me wrong, because I'm a personal application person. You know,
yeah.
Guys like me and you, we care about our own lives and personal application when it comes to ideals and the way that we choose to philosophize, if you will, and etc. You know what I mean? Like those are the types of dudes that we are. But there comes a point that we've come to in society where it's like you theorizing is more important than the actual application to your life. And I think that that's kind of where we're different than most of the people that we surround ourselves with. There's a true lack of like, do you want to be theoretically right in your argument, or do you want to just have an honest discussion of going, this is what affects us as human beings, as dudes, as family men, as husbands, as fathers, etc. Whatever it might be. This is our personal application to our life. So this is what I care about. I don't need to be like, you know, I definitely don't want to be a hypocrite in what I say, but like, this is what's important to me. And the rest can go fuck off. You know, like I'm not concerned about racism, because I'm not a racist, and that means that has no weight bearing on really like.
Well, yeah, and there's also this whole thing of like
my family, like it just doesn't.
I'm not that concerned with racism, also because I realize that there is a fucking.
That's a catalyst, but
I mean, but I think that's something that's fucking should be brought up because it's a huge fucking thing right now. But it's one of those deals of like, listen, dude, if anybody should be that fucked up about what's going on systemically, as they say, like what, like,
good work,
like, dude, the whole like system itself is not. It's not teetering against fucking brown people. Like, it's not like they don't like, you know, when you go to like there may be issues with racist in our country, but I mean, affirmative action and things like that are aimed against white people, not they're against white males. It's not aimed at fucking black people. The policies.
Yeah, the policies are what is.
Well, no, but that would be the system. That's so systemically, it doesn't make any sense. Like I understand, like, and I think people like overlook certain shit. Like,
right. For instance, me and you are, and most of the people that fucking like all this kind of shit is aimed at.
Yeah, if I face racism, I will, and I call someone on it. I will get laughed at like I would if I called the cops for my wife beating me. Like that is the way that I will be treated.
Absolutely. But that's what I mean. Like okay, so and the whole Trump deal, like while he's still a billionaire, you know, or whatever, like for some odd reason, and this whole alt-right fucking bullshit and all that stuff, you know, it's just like, look, man, like, this is not real life. And you have to also understand that it's like, where do guys like you and I, which we're not these types of people, but we are the class range of the types of people that all of this negative shit is hammering on. You know, you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we are those, we come from that same, we're cut from that same cloth. We're just more evolved individuals. but you have all of these people. It's like, where does the fucking Johnny construction worker or office manager or fucking, like these people with these, like, have no real influence over anything that's going to happen. People like you and I that are John Q. Public type dudes have no true influence over any way that anything's going to turn.
Well, and even then, like
we're still the oppressive guys, though. We're still the guys like, no, I'm just not putting up with your bullshit. Like, you can feel however you want to. I'm just not putting up with your bullshit, Well,
and then we have these, like, this crazy bullshit too of like that the way you look is only important if you're black, like that kind of shit. And it's like, listen, dude, I'm a white dude with tattoos and a beard. Like, I'm looked at the same way that a lot of, like that your quote unquote typical black person would be looked at. If, like, I get looked at when I'm in places. It's not a fucking, you know what I mean? It's not because of that. If you're a black guy in a fucking suit, they are not going to assume that you are coming in there to steal shit. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so I think that, like, people, like, don't get it. And I actually heard, and it's an old interview, but it was, Childish Gambino, whatever his real name is, something Glover, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Yeah.
And it was an old interview on the Breakfast Club. It just happened to cycle through on YouTube, and he was talking about, like, that, I'm trying to get a cab or whatever, and they're not picking me up because I'm black. And Charlemagne actually brought up, but like, yeah, but what if you're in a suit? I mean, like, chances are they'd probably pick you up, right? And he was like, well, yeah, but I should be able to wear whatever I want to. And it's like, okay, but that's the same.
White rednecks.
Yeah, but it's like, it's like, but wait a second. Then it's not racism, because that same fucking thing would happen to a white guy dressed like shit.
Class warfare is bigger than race.
Oh, no, and I would argue that class warfare is really what all of this shit is.
It's
like,
really-
and even, like, dude, the black guys that are getting shot in poor neighborhoods, you keep having these, like, references to, like, oh, well, how come these white mass shooters make it out alive, but you got black guys dying every day? And I'm like, well, because these fucking mass shooters are getting special groups that are called to them. Like, you're having
Absolutely.
a fucking task force that is set up and trained to take down mass shooters.
When
Those guys go in there, you're not dealing with Johnny fucking retard cop that walks around in the fucking high violent fucking ghetto. It's different.
When the ATF shows up, shit's gone nuclear. Okay,
Yeah, they don't, like, just walking shooting people. Like, they're not on that kind of nervous fucking deal. You know what I mean? These guys have been trained to deal with those situations. Whereas, like, your regular cop walking around in a place that's known for gunplay is going to be on his toes. So when something happens, he makes a stupid decision.
Right.
And that being the case, it's not because they're black. It's because he's in a place known for fucking gunplay.
This isn't a race issue. This isn't us taking up for cops, because we certainly aren't.
Fuck
doing
cops.
that.
I don't have anything with that. It's
official fucking post politics fucking statement. Fuck the police.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't. I think people have. It's not that I don't sympathize for black people being killed more than whites or whatever, or even not even making that statement with black people being killed. Period. All right, like I sympathize, and that sucks. What I'm
killed by government forces. That,
absolutely, but what I'm saying is that the shit is happening because predominantly these areas that are low income have a lot of blacks there. And so that happens more. But what I'm saying is it's not white people that are like, it's not white men doing it. It's not white people that are out there killing people. Like, it's cops. It needs to be what's seen, is that it's cops. Like, yes, some of them may be white, but they're not doing it because they're black.
Absolutely. And we're gonna have our last break here and then come and wrap the show up on the back end. But I had this same talk with Britt today. We went to BJ's. I'm gonna go there later. But They we went to PJ's and fucking got, you know, the grandparents watched the in-laws watch the kids for a couple hours while we went and did our shopping, and that was cool and all that. But we were talking about, you know, like our property value's gone up a great deal here lately, but like she was, you know, we were having this discussion, and she's lived out here most of her life. So, like, she doesn't understand. And I said, this has happened in every major metropolitan area ever. It happened when I was in, I said, in the late 80s. I said, fucking, at a certain point, they leave the inner cities to go fend for your fucking selves. And anybody that has any sort of wherewithal or money enough to do so goes, fuck you, people. Like, we're moving to the suburbs, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in Orlando right now. It happened in Atlanta when I was a tyke, if you will. You know, when I was you know, 30 years ago. This is
same in Houston.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Any major metropolitan area like that, like Orlando is, it's like it's not a 2 or 3 million people, you know, in the city limits. It's more like a 400,000 to 500,000 people. Like, a lot of people know Orlando, but it's still like it's a 400,000 or 500,000 people within the city limits instead, you know. But I'm going like, no, this is what happens. Like, everybody, she's like, these people have no reason to move out here and do all this. And I was like, look, they're building all these extra roads out here right now, and our property value is going up. And it's like, as soon as we can fucking get what we want to and be able to sell and buy land where we don't have to fucking worry about next door neighbors or any of that shit, that's exactly what the fuck we're doing. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Like, no, fuck you. This is my little slice of the pie, motherfucker. And everybody else can
my
go
spot. Get the fuck out of here.
Right. Everybody else can go suck a fucking dick. Straight up. Everybody else, like, this is my little fucking piece of the pie.
And not mine, because mine will be on the other side of that fucking fence. You guys stay over there.
Right, yeah. That's yours. It's mine, so you can fuck right off.
Yeah.
You know? That's all I really want out of this world. That's why I want a homestead where I can fucking go out and my dogs can run and I can grow shit and have fucking shit in my yard and kill it, or my dogs can, you know, fuck my dog to catch rabbits and shit, you know, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I got a personal story about that when we return, if you want to end on something just kind of fun and personal or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we're going to hit our final break, and we'll try to wrap it up in quick fashion, not do too much overtime on the back end. For sure. I'm myself another drink, and we'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned.
Right.
More post-politics coming up next.
On the bomb, ticking, time slipping. I'm sticking, keep on the tradition. They want you to not listen. Black vision confined with invisible line prison. Break you watch you shoot the shine, you the prism. Try opposition, non-fictional style that I'm giving. Whether you 9 to 5 or on the grind. Get up, all try to survive this life that we live in. Got this mic, I'm gripping. Knives in the kitchen, precise with incision. Slice of intuition, take a bite. Forbidden, make the right decision. We gotta meet in life just like a dietitian. Sometimes twice to get in is twice the admission. Ride into the sky, glide on the fly rhythm. You just beginning. What? You think I'm kidding? Alright, enough. It's a mission like that, y'all. That, y'all. That, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. Hands up from the front to the back wall. Who want what? Where, how, here, now. Who want what? Where, how, here, now. Who want what? Where, how, here, now. You gotta get up. Get down. I've been for a couple of weeks looking for words worth enough to speak. Any purchase of pub surface, be sure it's coming cheap. Anything worth something is buried underneath. Cutting deeper than daggers that Brutus stabs Caesar with. Pledge allegiance, envious friends treasonous. Sharp as teeth is always on the greediest. That's the reason the hand that feeds is left fingerless. People read the cover, they'll never read the print. Instead of speaking with each other, rather plead the fifth. Traitor, shaking hand for bleeding fist. And keep repeating shit like the CD skit. America stare at y'all through peepholes peeking. Rubbernecks glare at the freak show screaming. Mask and hoodie, it ain't even snow season. Money got everybody 20 below freezing. Like that, y'all. That, y'all. That, y'all. It's like that, y'all. It's like that, y'all. Hands up from the front to the back wall. Wamba, where, how, here now. Wamba, where, how, here now. Wamba, where, how, here now. You gotta get up.
All right, everybody, we're back. Final segment, post politics. We'll shorten it up here. Get out of here in the next 15 minutes or so. Oh, man. Well, I hope you've heard our outrage as angry white men tonight. Bunch of white ass people dealing with
Fucking angry white men.
Angry white men.
And I that's the thing. I'm not angry at all. Yeah, I'm not angry at all.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but that's just a sign of your white privilege, Zach.
That's why I'm not angry. Is because I'm so privileged enough to not be angry.
Because who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. Like, it only has enough, like, here's my thing. Like, I just have to deal with the fact that if somebody's being a dick to me, they're just being a dick. Right? Like I can't just be like,
I don't have no connotation to it, you know?
Yeah, I mean? Like I can't be like, oh, he hates me because I'm white, or like, oh, he doesn't like people with beards. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, dude. So
how about you're just fucking got a wrong view of life and you're just a dick because
like, why can't it just be that these people are dicks? Like, I just don't understand why it has to, like,
I don't care what fucking side of the aisle you fall on.
Well, not only that, like, unless somebody tells me, like, hey, I'm treating you like shit because you're a white man, then I can be like, oh, it's because he's a racist, right?
Right.
But unless they say that, I'm not so fucking arrogant that I think I can tell what's going on in his head. You know what I mean? Like, I just have to be like, oh, he's a dick. You know what I mean? I don't know whatever happened to that shit.
Well, this goes back to like our and I'm not going to make like a huge argument about it, but it's our age-old argument of like, no, what's more important is to bring people down instead of bring people up. Like that's where society's gotten to, where it's like you're going to have people that are higher up on the totem pole as you are. And what happens in modern day society is that the people realize that there's like such a slim to none chance that you will propel yourself to that level, that arena of well-being or popularity or fame. And social media is totally hugely caused by that. Like anybody that has delusions of grandeur that you're going to be the next YouTube star or Twitter fucking fanatic or whatever the fuck they're calling each other nowadays, whatever these kids are calling each other nowadays, that those platforms have put you on a inside of an arena of importance and a tier of how important or cool or popular that you can become. I've never cared about popularity in my entire life. You can talk to people that have known me for, 25 to 30 years that don't fucking they're like will tell you the truth about me, where it's like popularity is not a thing. Popularity to me personally is staying true to yourself and your convictions. So it's like, man, I know I'm a little bit fucking weird, but guess what? I'm owning my shit. I will continue to own my shit until my dying day. And it's probably the only reason I haven't had a fucking massive stroke at this point. Like it's like I refuse to be anybody other than myself, even if people, which plenty of people do, historically in my life, had a problem with. They've had a problem with who I am. But guess what? I came to a place about half my life, close to half my life ago, that I was like, nope, I'm cool being me. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I don't need to feel bad. Like for a long while, I was the type of dude that was like, why am I different? Like, why doesn't anybody get me? Like on that, like, I think I'm pretty sure I'm pretty smart. Like, I'm not putting myself anywhere, but like, I know I'm smarter than half the people I deal with, so it's like, why is this such a hard thing to grasp? I think that would be enlightening to some people. And what you find out as an adolescent, that if you are on that type of level, that people don't quite get you, and that continues into your adulthood. And you go, you sit there and go like, why don't people get me? Like, I think I'm speaking truthfully and honestly, and I believe I've got some wits and some smarts about me. And then finally you come to this place where you go, oh, that's right, everybody's a bunch of fucktards.
Yeah.
Well,
it's that whole thing of like, before you like diagnose yourself with a fucking problem or some kind of illness, make sure that you're not surrounded by assholes.
Sure.
And like, that's kind of the deal, is like, listen, dude, like,
but I don't have to
a
feel.
lot of people are fucking like just convinced that there's something wrong with them, and they don't realize that, like, dude, look, people are dicks.
Right.
Just calm down.
Well, and I don't know if that's a struggle for most of us. It's I know that there's a certain part of the population that listen to the show or are along the same mindset as people like us, or whatever. But I know that there's people out there. I can't say for certain that that's like a majority, but I know that for a fact there's a certain percent of that population that goes like, you know what? I just had to go like, hey, I'm comfortable being me, and like, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to like steer the captain's ship here. I'm not trying to take over or nothing, but it's like, I don't really think that I'm as delusional as I've been led to think by my peers. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Like I'm not like this isn't a gimmick. It's not a fucking thing. And guess what? It took a long time for me to be like, hey, people can come and there's a certain bit of narcissism that comes with that as well. Is people like us going relationship wise, I guess would be the most common point. You know, like I said, by the time I got together with Brittany, and even you know, one or two bullshit relationships I had after I got divorced too, before I met Britt, you know, I was going, you know what, I am not going to be a yes man anymore. I'm not going to make anybody happy anymore. I'm just going to be me. Like, I'm not going to say yes when I mean no. I'm not doing that anymore. From the first marriage, that's what I really learned. Where it was like, I'm not going to say yes and do yes and then still have everybody look at me like I'm an asshole. I'm not going to do that. Like, no, fuck you. Like, if I want to do this, then I'll do it. If I don't, then fuck you. And you'll look at me just the same. So I'm not going to placate to people anymore. You know, that's one thing I came out. I don't know about you, but that's one thing that came out of my first marriage going like.
No, I did. I mean, shit, dude, I dropped a lot of people in my life because of it.
Right.
It was just like, look, dude, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of fucking like trying to live to whatever it is that y'all. And then you also start to realize that people's
standard that fucking is unattainable for somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Most of the time, it's completely unattainable. It's shit that fucking you could never do.
Truly achieve.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, you start realizing how little most of the people that you're worried about fucking pleasing actually have anything to do with your life in reality.
Not only that, but like you, I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, you talk about your ex-wives and your ex-in-laws and things like that when you put that out there like that, and you go, guess what? Like, in retrospect, it's like I probably would have been respected more if I just had a solid, you know, grounding in like that's what I believe and that's what I'm going to do. So, like, fuck you, like, respectably, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, but this is my family, and this is how I'm choosing to raise my family, or whatever the case for the time may be. But you sit there and go like, I'm not going to like placate, like I'm not going to placate other people and still have them look at me like an asshole. I can be an asshole all on my own, you know. Like I don't have to buy into your bullshit and be the asshole. I can just be the asshole and be confident as the asshole in this scenario, and know that I'm kind of still more in the right than what your, you know, whole gimmick is at the moment, you know, like whatever you're feeling, or you think that I'm doing wrong, or you would do better than I would in this situation. Like, fuck you. This is my journey. You know, it ain't your journey, man.
No, I mean, that's kind of the deal, dude. Like, there's a lot of that bullshit going on, dude.
And to be honest, man, and we're going to wrap it up here, but, like, I think about this, you know, about my kids too. And I'm like, I'm not going to get in the way of their journey, man. You know, if they want something, or they need to be guided, or if they want to be guided, like I'm already going, I've done my part, man. You know, they already know enough, you know, almost entering middle school at this point, that I'm like, you guys know what's expected of you out of me, and you know what I'm trying to lead you towards. Like I can reiterate that all I want to, but like they already know.
Yeah.
That's not going to change for them. And it's like, if you think you know better and you want to go for it. And I'll be there to rope you back in if you really need it. I don't like it. I wish you would just get the fucking point.
Yeah.
But everybody, hey, I'm no different, man. I had to step in my own mud puddles as well, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't know, man.
Of course.
I'm sorry. I just fucking went off ranting, but
no, you're good, man. It happens. You know, get that shit off, bro.
I thought it was important, though.
Like, nah, man. I mean, it is, dude, and especially like, you know, we all learn our shit differently. There's some people that fucking do exactly what they're supposed to at all times, or do exactly what other people tell them to at all times, and you know, and that
they never get it.
Yeah,
too.
And I've just never been that way. You know what I mean? I usually need to fail my own fucking way before I learn anything.
Absolutely. I'm confident enough to tell anybody fuck you and I know better and step in my own mud puddles because I come out on the other end fucking way more shiny and way more knowledgeable than most people do.
Yeah, it always pays off. It's not like
it's like another failed relationship for 300, Alex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
People fucking double down on. They double down on their own bullshit instead of saying like, people told me this ahead of time, and you know what? I doubled down on this relationship or this situation in my life, whatever it might be, and they go, okay, I was definitely fucking wrong there, but you know what? I came out the other side like I know what everybody was trying to say to me. I'm not gonna fucking do that again. You know,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not gonna do that again. And people like you and I get that. A lot of people are like, everybody else is full of shit and they just didn't like her. Who's somebody that's pretty much the same person? Like, let's do that again. You know, like, no, the same results will fucking.
Yeah, that's the way it's. Yeah, it's a bad move. It's just a bad move all around. Yeah.
So people are unwilling to look at themselves for the shitheads that they really are. Unlike us, who proudly put it on our fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. I'm like I am 100% sure that I think I'm a bigger shithead than most people do. Like you know what I mean? Like I am pretty fucking rough on myself about shit.
Yeah, we brought that up a fucking couple episodes ago. It was like, dude, Zach and I, dude, we are rougher on ourselves than anybody could ever. And me and Zach get pretty brutal with each other from time to time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We know where it comes from, so it's all in love. However, him and I are fucking much more harsher on ourselves than any of you people could ever think about being.
Yeah, and that's like that's why I think that other people's opinions don't affect me quite as much.
Inner monologue is like, you fucking shithead.
Yeah, like I think I'm way less capable of, or at least I'm a lot harder on myself about like what it will take for me to be able to do certain things and things like that than what it usually is. Like you know, I mean, normally like I achieve shit a lot easier than I thought that I would. Like, and mainly because I'm just really rough on myself. I'm a pessimist when it comes to
myself.
Yeah.
Right. Which is all you really need. That's and some people don't understand that, where you're like, oh, you self-loathing piece of shit or whatever. But it's like, Zach and me, and by the way, Zach and I have never had this conversation off air or anything else like that before, but that is what our motivating factors are. It takes different things to motivate people, and for us to believe for us to come from a place of low self-esteem naturally throughout our childhood, etc., that leads to our motivation in real life.
Yeah,
so our belittling of ourselves leads to the most prominent things that we could ever achieve. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's really what it is that I know that I can survive anything, like to my but I don't and so to me it's like, hey, look, dude,
to deal with. That's for me and you personally to deal with deep in the cockles of our hearts.
Exactly. Like, hey, look, dude, I can survive anything, but but I might fuck up. But my thing about that is like, yeah, but if I fuck up, I know that I can deal with
it's on me.
Yeah, I know that I can deal with the outcome of that fuck up.
I'm fine. Well, me and you have been dealt enough shit by other people, whether inadvertently or purposefully.
Yeah.
You know, by other people, you know, whatever, you know, you got your parents gone and fucking, you know, being bullied or fucking people not getting you even amongst friends, you know, just all this weird
all kinds of shit.
All just this weird shit that leads to like a true belief in individuality.
Yeah.
That we've had to deal with throughout the course of our lives, that you go like, no, guess what? I've come to a place where I'm cool with me.
Yeah.
Even if you're not cool with me, like
yeah, no, and at this point, I don't really give a fuck if you're
and
cool
if
with
not,
me.
you
Yeah,
can
like,
get the fuck out of here. Like I really could get like that. Man, I hate to say that because like that's like our current relationships. I'm sure. I don't know for certain, but I'm sure that you've had those types of conversations with Sam, just as I have with Brittany, where it's like, hey, this is who I am. I let you know I was very upfront in who I am when this thing started. So if you don't like it, I don't like it. I want to be with you, but like you can go at any fucking point, and I've made a decision already to be okay if that doesn't happen the way that I want it to. I want to, you know, that's the way she goes sometimes.
yeah. No, it absolutely is, man.
Married, and I couldn't be happier, dude. I love my wife more and more every day. But I've also said those things to her before. Like, hey, if you don't like it, fucking at any time, you can take off because I am comfortable with abandonment at this point. Really. Like that's our damaged little fucking Sarah McLachlan dog at this point. You know,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, even if you want to go, I'm an involved human being and I can make myself okay. I don't like it, but like you can fuck off at any given point, and I've trained myself to be okay. You know?
Absolutely.
But
I'm gonna make it.
All right, final summation, sir. We're gonna roll out for the night.
Yeah, dude, I'm good, man. Fucking back to the fucking grind tomorrow, dude. So
yeah.
Fucking,
Lily gets her fucking thoughts and prayers for my daughter, if you will.
Yes, sir.
We got getting tonsils taken out, so I'm taking off tomorrow.
Right.
And 1 o'clock. I've got to just, you know, the hardest part about this for me is not even having it happen. It's to make sure that she doesn't eat anything from the time she wakes up until.
Of course.
Yeah, so she's on the fasting program as of now. So
yeah,
that's what we're dealing with. But anyway, I'm about to wake her up and get her fed whatever the fuck she wants to eat. Basically, is what we're rolling with right now. So yeah, thoughts, prayers for Lily.
Thoughts and prayers going out.
And we'll
good deal, man.
Catch you motherfuckers on Sunday or Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday.
Sooner rather than later, if you will.
There you go.
Okay, your call. Bad Religion or Machine Head?
Let's do Machine Head.
Boom. Catch you Wednesday. Once again, everybody. Sorry.
Fuck yeah. That's all right.
Wednesday night, Post Politics. Be back.
Wednesday,
Thanks,
motherfuckers.
J-Rev Radio, Last Radio Live. Suck, fuck,